Palmer here, Director of Communications for Haltom United Business Alliance, and I'm here with one of our founding members to help him create videos for his Make Haltom City Thrive Again campaign. This is another in a continuing series of videos for the campaign Make Haltom City Thrive Again. Ron Sturgeon wants to bring all the businesses back to Haltom City and to make it easier to start a business in Haltom City. A fierce advocate for small businesses, Ron always says their struggle is real. Ron wrote a book on the topic, Keeping the Lights On Downtown in America's Small Cities, the critical role small businesses play in bringing back jobs and prosperity. Please request a free autographed copy if you live in Haltom City. It's received over 20 5-star reviews on Amazon. The book gives many more details about the things we're going to discuss in these videos. You can learn more about Ron's efforts at his Facebook page, Make Haltom City Thrive Again. These videos are to help voters so they can make an informed choice in the next election about who is going to lead and bring solutions for the city. Thanks for watching, and I encourage you to watch the other videos posted. And most importantly, make sure you vote in the next election as we strive to bring back prosperity to Haltom City's declining areas and corridors in the central and southern parts of the city. We need pro-business candidates to serve on the City Council. If you're interested in helping or serving, reach out to Ron for more information. Ron, the Haltom City Manager recently released a report detailing the condition of the commercial sector in the city. What's the report missing?
Well, you know, he's a really eloquent speaker and a really smart guy, and he's a good guy, I think. But nowhere in the report does he address the south and central portions of the city and the decline and what they intend to do with it. They don't have a plan for it. He doesn't say they have a plan for it, and they basically just he talks about all the growth on the north part of the city and the new big warehouses and the new this and the new that, and what they've done to increase the taxes, but he never mentions the 600-pound elephant in the room, which is all of those declining parts of the city.
Now, the city manager is touting a 740-acre spanning TERS that was approved by City Council. How is that going to help the city?
Well, a TERS is a tax incremental reinvestment zone. And the way that works is the city creates a zone in the city where they want to see more improvement, and then as owners improve the properties, they make the increased tax revenues available to help with the cost of that improvement. But it's important to note that a TERS is only used for public improvements, okay? It won't help you fix up your old building. It won't help you paint your building. It won't help you bring the electrical up to code. It will put a new sewer pipe in from the street to your meter, water pipe, if you need one. But very few of those types of improvements are going to be needed to revitalize the older parts of the city, because the older parts of the cities all have the infrastructure in place already.
Got it.
TERS are typically used for an apartment complex that needs to improve a water system up to their place because they need a lot more water pressure, or to build sidewalks in front of their new apartments, so on and so on. And the city had a TERS before some years back. Bob Watkins served as chairman of the committee, and they never met a single time. And almost all of the TERS was used by an apartment complex, which is great. I'm glad that the apartment complex got the benefit of the TERS, but it didn't help the small businesses or all of these small property owners that have businesses that they want to make improvements on. So that's the only thing that they've ever even mentioned might help the small businesses, but it's not going to be effective. Another big factor is the money in the TERS comes from increased taxes. Well, first you have to improve the property, then you have to get a new assessment, then the tax district has to pick up on the assessment.
How long will that take?
2 years, minimum,
yeah.
for you to start paying increased taxes. And then a little bit here, a little bit there. It's a 30-year TERS. Now, anybody that thinks we have 30 years to solve this revitalization problem is sadly naive. We could be working on it right now, and in 5 years we could make big headway if they would just accept a lot of the improvements, the plans that the business community has proposed in writing to the city. So no, a tourist is not going to help redevelop the older parts of the city.
It's a minute 20. Now, according to the report, the city currently has development agreements that will bring in numerous restaurant, retail, and entertainment options. As soon as interest rates come down, Ron, and the national economy bounces back, these developments will move forward. Ron, how soon before you can expect that to happen?
Well, first, the development agreements, by the way, nowhere in his comment does he mention those businesses and that growth in the southern and central part of the city, because all of that growth is occurring on the north side of the city, where all the new businesses are and the undeveloped land and so on and so on. And no new restaurant is opening in the Central Corridor. Central Corridor has a 29% vacancy. It's in a state of decline. There's a lot of closed businesses and boarded up buildings. Nobody is going to come there and open a restaurant. We've got to make that corridor active again by bringing one business at a time to make it better. And then maybe we can get some restaurants and some entertainment options and other things in the central and south part of the city. Now the other thing is, and Lord have mercy, interest rates are not fixing to come down quickly. They're just not. I mean, you can look at the Fed history. They might lower it a quarter point twice next year.
That's not the trend right now, though.
No, it's not even the trend yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still raising it. And before the economy bounces back, who knows? Years. And it could easily be 5 years before interest rates get back to another level. And it's kind of hard for me to fathom that anybody believes that when all that stuff finally happens, we'll get new growth. And of course, even when it started, it'll take years to go. So no, we don't believe that comment is helpful at all for the southern and central parts of the city.
Ron, the city manager maintains that retail developments would not be possible if we did not utilize what they're referring to as the Back to Basics plan. What are your thoughts on that?
It's not clear to me exactly what the Back to Basics plan is, but one thing is clear to me. Retail is dying. Any plan that counts on retail to revitalize our southern central parts of the city, or even the newer parts of the city, is destined to fail. We're going to have service businesses and lots of other kinds of small businesses because retail is going away.
Now, the city manager claims that the commercial vacancy rates in Haltom City are lower than some of our surrounding neighbors. Do you see this when you drive around the city?
Well, I think the overall commercial rate might be similar to the surrounding cities. But you know, Joe, if I tell you that Fort Worth has 35,000 homeless people, and that ranks them in a really good place in Texas for homeless population, that sounds pretty good. But if 10,000 of them are along Lancaster in tents, and your business is on Lancaster, it's not feeling very good to you.
What is the vacancy rate in the central and southern parts approximately?
In the main corridor from 820 to Belknap on Denton Highway, it's 29%. And I don't doubt that it's higher in other parts of the city, but that's the main corridor. If you're coming to Haltom City thinking about moving and you're bringing your family from Detroit, you're going to drive down Denton Highway. You're not going to feel very good about it after you drive down the corridors in the other cities,
right,
or sister cities. And so we've got to work on that corridor, and we've got to stop deluding ourselves and telling voters, oh, it's okay because our vacancy rate is similar to the other cities. And you know, I like what Charlie Roberts said. He said, he was an ex-city councilman, he said, stop telling us this stuff because we can see with our eyes all the boarded up buildings. So stop telling us that it's okay because we know it's not,
right,
in the south and central parts of the city.